Welcome to the Brewers Association Sustainability Benchmarking Tools Orientation video. My name is John Steer, and I'm currently serving as the Sustainability Mentor for the Brewers Association. Many breweries have begun to understand and embrace the concept of sustainability as a business imperative. Sustainable brewing should not be thought of as an added cost or as a nice thing to do. It's all about brewing the highest quality beers in a profitable manner, but doing so through the responsible use of our natural resources and by minimizing our generation of waste. By doing this, we can continue to grow the production of some great craft beer in a responsible manner. So how do we get started? Well, right here, right now. As they say, what gets measured gets improved, and it all starts with making data-based decisions. This short video provides an introduction to tools developed by the Brewers Association to help you on your journey of becoming a more sustainable brewery. The following orientation will cover initial application setup steps, data entry, and dashboard creation. The dashboard views you generate will provide insights for focus and improvement. Hey, let's get started.
To get started, download and install the IEHS Mobile Metrics and Brewers Association Sustainability Dashboard applications as outlined in your welcoming email. If you have problems downloading the applications to your laptop or mobile device, please contact the Antea Group Help Desk at iehshelpdesk.us@anteagroup.com. To efficiently input data, you should first collect and organize relevant monthly utility billings and production information. You are encouraged to enter data as far back as possible to establish longer-term trends. The first annual Brewers Association Sustainability Benchmarking Report represents data for calendar year 2014. Future benchmarking reports will focus on calendar years after 2014. If you started operations after January 1st of any calendar year, simply start collecting data for the first complete month of data after startup. The following key performance indicators have been identified for benchmarking input. Beer production in barrels packaged. This is required. Electricity usage and cost. Fuel usage and cost. Water usage and cost. Wastewater volume and cost. Purchased carbon dioxide usage and cost. Solid waste and recycled materials. Quantity and cost or revenue. Spent grains quantity and revenue. Targets normalized to barrels packaged. Additional performance indicators are available for data input and tracking purposes. These may be important to some individual users but are not considered key for the purpose of creating the annual report. These indicators could be reported out at a later date if there is enough data and value to members. The following performance indicators are available for use. Beer production in barrels brewed. E-grid GHG factor. This is required to estimate greenhouse gas emissions. And wastewater concentration. For the initial setup of the data input application, open the IEHS Mobile Metrics application and input your username and password. Then click the Login button. Select your facility from the Facility drop-down menu. If you requested access to multiple facilities, you should see them all listed here. The IEHS Mobile Metrics and Brewers Association Sustainability Dashboard applications have been set up for the locations you listed in the access form. If your brewery has multiple meters, such as one for the brewery and one for an off-site warehouse, you can use the other fields to capture the readings for the warehouse. There are other options for electricity, fuel, usage, and water. If you need to modify or add additional locations, please contact the Antea Group Help Desk at iehshelpdesk.us@anteagroup.com. For web browser users only, the application has been designed on a platform for mobile users first. It is anticipated that most users will take advantage of the mobile capabilities of this tool. You can access the tool through a laptop or PC web browsers. However, there are a few unique characteristics that require your attention. Cursor movement with a mouse. You may notice the absence of a scroll bar or the inability to use the wheel function of a mouse to scroll up and down on the screen. In order to scroll vertically, press and hold the left button down of your mouse while moving the mouse in a vertical direction to essentially drag the page to different views. On a mobile device, you can simply use the touchscreen to move vertically. Syncing data. When using on a mobile device, data will remain in the application if you switch to different devices. You will still need to sync the data to send it to the master database, but you will not lose data if you switch out of the data entry application. If you are entering data through a web browser, you must sync the data prior to closing your web browser. If you close the window before syncing, the data will not be saved. In the top menu bar, the Filter tab allows you to select which key performance indicators to track and enter data. There are 3 drop-down menus available. The Facility drop-down menu allows you to select your facility from the list. If you requested multiple locations in the access form, you can select each facility separately. The Class drop-down has been defaulted to Actual. The other features in this drop-down menu have been disabled to reduce the complexity of initial data entry. This feature may be enabled in the future if there is adequate interest by member users. Click on the Decimal Places drop-down menu and set this to 2. You have the option to collect data for 9 sustainability-related metric types. You can select as many or as few as you like by clicking on the metric type and obtaining check marks verifying selection. Since all efficiencies and targets are normalized to barrels package, you must select this metric for input. It is strongly suggested you determine and select which of the 8 metric types you would like to track before advancing to the next step. Select Show Advanced. This will open subcategories of each metric type that you can select for tracking. For example, if I select electricity as the metric type and production operations, going to the advanced view allows the selection of additional subcategories. The default view selects all subcategories for that data input. Here I can deselect barrels brewed from the production metric type. I will also select all electricity metric types except for the eGrid GHG factor. To save these as your default metrics for data input, select Save as Defaults. This will enable you to avoid this step the next time you log into the application. To begin inputting data, select Input at the top of the screen. Your selected default metrics should be displayed in the far left column. Using your monthly production data in barrels package and your electrical billings, input the data into the appropriate monthly cells. Use the left and right calendar arrows to select the month for data input. For example, if I wanted to select data for January, I could scroll to the left using the left arrow, find January, click on that cell, and enter the data. The system does allow for an internal data entry approval process whereby another person at the brewery can review and mark data as approved. A user may also want to mark estimated values as draft and change to final when verified data is entered. The input screen will show the previous year's monthly value, if available. This allows for a quick visual check to avoid data entry errors. During the initial setup steps, or later by selecting Filter at the top of the screen, you can set up targets for data entry as well. This is another metric type on the left-hand side. There are 6 target subcategories to choose from. You can select as many or as few as you prefer. Target data should be entered monthly in a similar manner to actual data. You can use the same number for each month as a target or set varying targets based on seasonality or other factors. This simple set of instructions allows any user to get started. Users that want to learn some of the more advanced features of the metrics application should contact the Brewers Association Sustainability Mentor at sustainabilitymentor@brewersassociation.org. The Brewers Association Sustainability Dashboard. The opening reporting screen allows you to select either benchmarking or progress to targets. Initial benchmarking contains results collected in 2014 from approximately 80 craft brewers. The system will be updated annually as new data is entered to allow comparison to 2014, 2015, and beyond. The Progress to Targets dashboard allows you to set and track progress against set targets. Each brewery will determine the appropriate target to set. Benchmarking. Select the name of your brewery from the drop-down list. The overview page will show two sets of bar charts, one for usage and one for cost. Your brewery's performance for the selected benchmarked year will be compared against others in that same production size range on a percentile basis. For example, if your brewery is at the 70th percentile for electric usage, it means that your performance is more efficient on a per barrels basis than 70% of the other breweries in your production range. In the same way, if you are at the 20th percentile, it means that 80% of the other breweries in your production range are performing at a more efficient usage or cost. Production ranges have been established at 0 to 1,000, 1,000 to 10,000, 10,000 to 100,000, and greater than 100,000 barrels. The geographic region, facility status, and production drop-down list do not apply to the overview. Selecting any of the key performance indicator icons will allow more detail to be illustrated. For example, selecting the electricity icon will allow you to see your brewery performance illustrated as a yellow dot on two scatter diagrams with other breweries in the dataset. The left graph shows usage, and the right graph shows costs. The drop-down menus above can be used to compare performance by geographic region, facility status, and production size. The two lower colored bar charts are meant to illustrate the distribution of data around the median value for the production size selected in the lower drop-down menu. Breweries are grouped by number around the top 25%, middle 50%, and bottom 25%. The values on top of the colored bar charts reflect the data point at each of these distribution points. You can easily visualize your brewery efficiency in this distribution matrix. Progress to targets. Each person is allowed to set key performance indicator targets in the IHS Mobile Metrics data input application. If set, these targets will show up on the sustainability dashboard to allow routine tracking of performance against targets. The overview page shows a summary of all key performance indicators selected and year-to-date progress to target. A color coding has been established to illustrate the level of performance. Selecting any of the key performance indicators will allow more detail to be illustrated. For example, selecting electricity will create a sustainability dashboard with 5 different graphics. Some are year-to-date, some are for the current month selected, and some illustrate monthly values. The sliders at the top of the page allow for changes to months or years viewed. The power of these sustainability dashboards is best learned through hands-on usage and experimentation. This short Getting Started summary does not cover all possibilities available in the reporting application. If you have any questions, please contact the BA Sustainability Mentor at sustainabilitymentor@brewersassociation.org.
I hope this video was helpful in gaining a basic understanding of the sustainability benchmarking tools available to you as members of the Brewers Association. If you have any questions or suggestions for improvement, please feel free to contact me at the following address.